20th of October will not come to comfort you. It will come to shake you. It will come to test the weight of your patience, the depth of your understanding, and the strength of your inner balance. On this day, life will no longer whisper softly. It will speak through storms, through discomfort, through unexpected resistance. This is not a punishment, it is preparation. When life begins to push you, it is because you have reached the edge of your current self. The push is the invitation to cross that edge and meet the next version of you. On 20th of October, you will feel pressure. You will feel that things are not going your way. Situations will not respond the way you hoped. The people you counted on may not show up. The plans you made might fall apart. But in those exact moments, something powerful is happening behind what you can see. Life is testing how much truth you have built inside yourself. It is checking if your peace depends on conditions or if it stands unshaken even when everything around collapses. This is where transformation begins, when you stop seeking a smooth path and start walking with strength through the rough one. Most people break when the pressure comes. They think the world is against them. They think something went wrong. But life doesn't work like that. The hardest days arrive only when you are ready for more, even if you don't see it yet. 20th of October will feel heavy because you are being stretched. You are being pulled beyond the limits that your comfort once created. Every test, every challenge, every form of pressure on this day is there to make you see what you still hold on to. Your fear, your doubt, your need for control. When these begin to break, that's when the real growth starts. There is a strange truth about transformation. It never feels like transformation while it's happening. It feels like loss. It feels like chaos. It feels like failure. But 20th of October is not about losing. It's about releasing the weaker parts that cannot move with you into your next chapter. You are not being punished. You are being refined. The old version of you, the one built on excuses, fear, and temporary comfort, cannot survive where you are going. That version must collapse. That is why the day feels so hard. When the storm of 20th of October comes, remember that storms don't destroy the sky. They only clear it. The pressure is not there to break your spirit, but to cleanse it. The more you resist it, the more it hurts. The more you flow through it, the more you see its purpose. There is power in learning to stand still while everything shakes. There is wisdom in letting go when your instinct says to fight. The calmness you choose becomes your weapon. The patience you hold becomes your teacher. Growth never comes in silence. It comes in noise, in struggle. In days like 20 October, you are meant to feel discomfort because that is how awareness enters. The push you feel is the force that opens your next door. It's not the world being cruel. It's the universe saying you are ready. You are ready to handle what once used to break you. You are ready to rise through what once used to silence you. You are ready to see that the same pain that tries to defeat you is also the pain that teaches you how to never be defeated again. Every transformation demands a price. The price of strength is always struggle. You cannot carry the same mindset and expect a new life. You cannot stay soft and expect to walk through fire. On 20th October, when life pushes you, do not push back. Stand firm, breathe, observe, let it shape you. Let it strip away everything that does not belong to your higher self. The moment you stop fighting the process begins to serve you. You start to see that the things that fell apart were never meant to stay. The people who left were never meant to walk with you ahead. Everything is aligning, not falling apart. The challenge of 20th October is simple. Can you stay calm when the world becomes loud? Can you trust that the damage has meaning? Because the truth is, the push is not the end. It's the beginning of your rise. Life breaks you only to rebuild you with stronger material. The discomfort you feel is the hammer striking the steel of your soul. With every hit, you are becoming sharper, wiser, and more unshakable. The pain is the sound of your rebirth. So, when the weight of 20th of October falls on your shoulders, don't collapse. Straighten your spine. keep your breathing steady. Walk through the storm with grace. Remember, the universe does not waste pain. Every second of difficulty is a signal that you are evolving. The person who survives 20th October will not be the same person who woke up in the morning. You will leave behind the weaker version of you, and in its place, a quieter, stronger, and more focused being will rise. You may not understand it while it happens. You may feel tired, lost, or damaged. But later, when the air clears, you will look back and see that 20th October was not a day of destruction. It was the day you were pushed just enough to discover your own strength. It was the day you stopped asking life to be easy and started becoming strong enough to face it. And that strength, the one born from the hardest push, will stay with you long after the storm has passed. 20th October will be a painful day for many. It will test your patience, your emotions, and your mental strength. But behind that pain, there is a message. The pain that arrives on 20th October is not random. It is precise, necessary, and deeply personal. It knows exactly where to hit you because it wants you to wake up. It wants you to stop running from yourself. Pain doesn't come to destroy. It comes to teach. The problem is that most people only see the suffering, not the lesson. They cry, complain, and ask for the pain to leave, but they never stop to understand what it is trying to show them. On 20th October, life will use pain as the mirror of truth. It will reflect all the parts of you that still need healing. Maybe it will come through loss, through failure, through disappointment, or through silence. Whatever form it takes, it will hit deep. But instead of escaping, this time you must stay. Stay inside the discomfort and look at it closely. The longer you can stay with it, the more you will see that pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest instructor. Every wound has wisdom inside it, but that wisdom only opens when you stop resisting it. There are two kinds of people in pain. The first tries to escape. They distract themselves. They blame others. They hide behind false strength. But the second kind sits with the pain. They don't run. They breathe through it. They let it move through them slowly, fully. And these are the ones who change. These are the ones who grow. On the 20th October, you are being asked to be the second kind. Don't run and don't cover it with noise. Let it teach you what it came to teach. Every time you are hurt, a lesson is hidden beneath the surface. If you can look past the emotion, you will see the pattern that caused it. The pain of 20th October will expose what you have ignored for too long. Maybe it will reveal your lack of self-control, your attachment to temporary things, or your fear of letting go. Pain always points to what still needs awareness. That's why the people who grow the fastest are the ones who are not afraid to feel deeply. They allow pain to open them, not close them. Pain is a language that life uses when words fail. It's how the universe communicates truth when you refuse to listen. On the 20th of October, you might lose something. You might be misunderstood. You might be pushed to your limit. But in those moments, you will also hear the most honest voice within you. The voice that says, now it's time to rise. The day will be heavy, but it will also be holy because pain will break open the parts of you that have been locked behind fear. If you try to avoid pain, you avoid growth. Every comfort you choose in place of struggle becomes a wall between you and your higher self. 20th of October will remind you that true progress does not come through comfort. It comes through endurance. It comes through staying calm in chaos, through choosing discipline over emotion, through trusting that every sting has a purpose. The most powerful people you know didn't become strong because life was kind. They became strong because life broke them in all the right places and they refused to stay broken. When pain enters your life, it strips away illusions. It shows you what is real. It removes people who were not loyal. It ends habits that were destroying you. It silences the noise so you can finally hear your own voice. On 20th of October, that silence will be painful at first, but when the noise fades, something new begins to grow. Clarity. You begin to see that every heartbreak was not the end, but a cleansing. Every failure was not a loss, but a redirection. Every wound was not a punishment, but a doorway to higher awareness. Pain is not against you. It is for you. It breaks you open so that light can enter. The damage you fear is often the very process that saves you. On 20th of October, when you feel that sting in your chest, when everything seems too much, remind yourself this pain is not here to crush you. It is here to awaken you. The hurt you feel is life's way of saying, you have outgrown this version of yourself. Don't fight it. Flow with it. The moment you surrender to what hurts is the moment you start healing. Growth will never feel like growth while you are inside it. It will feel like loss, confusion, and loneliness. But these are signs of rebirth. When the old layers of you begin to fall off, it feels like damage. It feels like death. But it is not death. It is transformation. You are shedding what no longer serves your evolution. The pain of 20th October is the sign that something new is being born within you. There will come a moment on that day when you will be tired, when you will want to escape. But that's the exact point where the shift happens. If you can stay one breath longer, one thought calmer, one step deeper, you will cross the line between suffering and awakening. Pain will no longer be something you fear. It will become your compass. It will show you what matters, what is real, and what needs to change. So when the pain of 20th of October visits you, welcome it with awareness. Don't drown in it. Don't reject it. Sit with it like an old friend who has come to tell you the truth. Feel it fully, then let it go. You will come out of that storm lighter, cleaner, and wiser. You will realize that the pain did not destroy you. It refined you. It gave you strength that no comfort could ever give. And when you look back, you will see that the day you thought was breaking you was actually the day you started to rise. 20th October will remind you of one simple truth: motivation will not save you. On this day, when everything feels heavy and you don't feel like moving, it will not be your excitement or your passion that carries you forward. It will be your discipline. Discipline is the bridge between the person you are and the person you want to become. 20th October will push you very hard, and in that push, motivation will disappear. You will feel tired, drained, uninspired. But that is exactly where the real version of you is tested. Anyone can move when it's easy, but only a few can move when there is nothing left inside but will. Discipline is silent power. It doesn't look dramatic, it doesn't make noise, but it shapes everything about you. On 20th October, the world may feel against you. Your mind may tell you to stop. Your emotions may beg you to rest. But discipline will whisper one thing: continue. It doesn't care how you feel. It only cares about who you become. This is the difference between temporary motivation and lasting strength. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning when everything else goes dark. When you start something new, motivation is always high. You feel inspired, focused, ready to conquer everything. But motivation is fragile. It fades when you don't see quick results, when things get repetitive, when you face resistance. 20th October will bring resistance. It will bring that moment when the mind says, "Why am I doing this?" It is in that exact moment you must remember you are doing it because you promised yourself that you would. That promise is your discipline. And discipline doesn't need excitement to act. It needs clarity. It knows that the goal will not care how you felt along the way. It only responds to action. Discipline is the proof of your maturity. On 28th October, when life pushes you hard, you will see who you really are. Do you stop when it hurts, or do you continue even when no one is watching? That's the difference between wishing and becoming. Every person wants growth, but very few accept the routine that builds it. Growth is not a moment of inspiration. It's 1,000 moments of repetition. The repetition that no one sees. The routine that feels boring but shapes you quietly. Discipline teaches you to stay in that process even when motivation is gone. 20th October will strip away your excuses. It will show you that feelings are not facts. You may wake up feeling weak, but if you act with discipline, you are already stronger than before. Discipline doesn't ask for emotion. It asks for commitment. It doesn't care if you are tired. It doesn't care if the weather is bad or the mood is low. It only asks, will you still do what you said you would do? That's what separates the ones who evolve from the ones who remain stuck. When motivation fades, people often stop and wait for it to return. But waiting kills progress. You don't wait for the mood to rise, you create momentum through action. On the 20th of October, when the push becomes unbearable, when everything seems too heavy, take one small step, one disciplined act. That single act will remind your mind who is in control. The body will follow where the mind leads. And once you move, even slightly, motivation begins to return. Discipline is the force that brings motivation back to life. There is power in doing what you don't feel like doing, because every time you do it, you take control of yourself. You become your own master. That's what 20 October is about, mastering yourself when everything around you tries to distract, discourage, and derail you. And the world will always offer reasons to quit. The mind will always whisper doubts. But discipline will keep you grounded. It will keep you walking through the storm with steady steps, no matter how strong the wind blows. The truth is, no great change ever came from comfort. You can't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect time. You must build yourself through structure. Discipline is that structure. On a 20th October, when motivation fails you, discipline will keep you moving forward. And when you finally reach the other side, you will realize it was not motivation that brought you there. It was every single day you showed up, even when you didn't want to. Discipline is self-respect in action. It's how you tell yourself that your goals are real, not just dreams. It's how you prove that you can trust yourself. Because every time you act with the discipline, you make a promise and you keep it. You tell the universe that you are serious about your growth. You no longer depend on external energy. You create your own. 20th October will challenge you to build that inner fire, to move when nothing around you feels inspiring, to rise when your emotions say stay down. There will come a moment on that day when your body is tired, your mind is dull, and your heart feels empty. But if you take one more step, and you one more, the mind breath, one more act of discipline, that's when transformation begins. The small acts repeated in silence are the foundation of greatness. Every disciplined moment on 20th October will build strength that will outlast any motivation. When you look back later, you will not remember how motivated you were. You will remember how disciplined you became. You will remember the day when you didn't give up, when you chose action over emotion and consistency over chaos. That day, 20th October, will not just test your strength, it will define it. Because when everything inside you wanted to stop and you still continued, that was the moment you became unstoppable. 20th of October will be the day your old self begins to break. It will not feel gentle. It will not feel peaceful. It will feel like chaos moving through your mind, tearing apart the version of you that has outlived its purpose. The pain, the confusion, the emotional exhaustion, all of it will arrive not to destroy you, but to make space for the person you are becoming. The old self must fall apart so the new self can rise. This is the price of transformation. You cannot hold on to both. On 20 October, you will notice that the same patterns no longer work. The same people no longer connect with you. The same goals may not excite you anymore. That is because your energy is shifting. You are no longer aligned with what kept you comfortable. Life is pulling you towards something higher, but before you can move, it has to break what keeps you still. This breaking feels like damage, but it's not. It's the process of evolution disguised as pain. Every crack that appears in your old identity is a doorway for light to enter. Transformation never begins in comfort. It begins in collapse. It begins in moments when everything you once relied on stops working. On 20th October, you will feel that collapse. Your old habits, your ego, your fears, they will all start to shake. The reason it feels so intense is because the part of you that wants growth is fighting the part that wants safety. Growth says, move forward. Safety says, stay the same. The fight between these two forces is what creates the storm inside. But the storm is not against you. It is cleansing you. It is burning away the parts of you that cannot survive your next chapter. When the old self begins to die, it will try to hold on. It will whisper doubts. It will make you feel lost, uncertain, scared. But remember, feeling lost is not the end. It's the beginning of awareness. You cannot find your new path while holding on to the old one. You must let go. Let the old identity fall, even if it feels like you are losing everything. On 20th of October, the strongest act you can do is to surrender. Surrender not as a sign of weakness, but as a recognition that the breaking is sacred. It is the way life rebuilds you into something higher. The truth is, growth is destruction in disguise. Every version of you that you outgrow must first collapse. The version that avoids pain, that seeks validation, that fears judgment, that version will not survive what 20th of October brings. The universe doesn't destroy you to punish you. It destroys what is false so that what is true can live. You are not being torn apart. You are being rebuilt with stronger foundations, with deeper understanding, with unshakable calm. When your old self starts to break, you will feel resistance. You will want to run back to comfort, to habits that numb the pain, to distractions that silence your thoughts. But comfort is the cage of the past. If you return to it, you will only repeat the same cycles. On 20 October, the only way forward is through the discomfort, through the unknown, through the silence of transformation. You must be brave enough to lose who you were in order to meet who you truly are. And there will be moments on that day when you will feel like you are losing control. But what you are actually losing is the illusion of control. The old self believes that control brings safety. The new self understands that surrender brings peace. The moment you stop resisting, everything begins to realign. The pain softens. The fog lifts. You start to see the purpose behind the breaking. It was never chaos. It was correction. Life was not against you. It was guiding you. 20th October will test your ability to trust the process. When everything falls apart, trust that it's falling into the right order. Trust that the version of you that's emerging is stronger, wiser, and more conscious. Trust that every ending is a preparation for a new beginning. The collapse you fear is simply the shedding of layers that no longer belong to you. And yes, it will hurt, but it's the kind of pain that leads to freedom, the kind that empties you only to fill you with something purer. Growth is not about adding more. It's about releasing what weighs you down. On 20th October, you will be asked to release your need to be understood, your attachment to how things should be, your fear of starting over. Each release will feel like a small death, but with every death, new space is created. And in that space, new strength grows. You begin to see that the real transformation is not happening outside you. It's happening inside. When the old self finally breaks, there will be silence, a strange kind of emptiness. Don't fear that emptiness. It's the space where your new self is born. It's the pause between destruction and rebirth. It's the stillness that holds all potential. Breathe in that silence. Feel it. Let it rebuild you. The person who walks out of 20 October will not be the same one who walked in. You will carry scars, but those scars will not represent damage. They will represent rebirth. And when you look back, you will understand that 20th October was not the day life broke you. It was the day life set you free. The day your old self finally stepped aside so your true self could rise. The day you stopped surviving and started becoming. From that day forward, every challenge, every fall, every loss will remind you of one thing. Nothing is ever taken from you without something greater being prepared in its place. The breaking of 20th October was never the end. It was the beginning of your becoming. 20th October will arrive like a storm. It will shake your calm, test your patience, and make you question your strength. But remember, these storms are temporary. They come with thunder, they roar with chaos, but they always pass. What stays after the storm is not the noise, not the wind, but the strength you gain from surviving it. The pain will fade, but the power you build will remain. 20th October will come to remind you that the strength born in darkness will always outlast the damage that tried to break you. When everything around you starts to fall apart, it's easy to believe that life is cruel. It's easy to think you are losing control. But 20th October is not about destruction. It's about direction. The storm does not come to end your path. It comes to clear it. Every struggle you face on this day will shape your foundation. Every obstacle will refine your focus. And when the noise finally stops, you will stand stronger, calmer, and wiser than before. The problem is, most people panic inside the storm. They think the pain will last forever. They think they are not strong enough. But storms don't stay, they move. They pass through your life to wash away what you no longer need. 25th October will bring such a storm, emotional, mental, or spiritual. It will push you to your edge. But at that edge, you will meet your true self. The version of you that doesn't break under pressure, the one that learns to stand firm when everything shakes, the version that no longer depends on comfort to stay grounded. You must learn to trust the storm. On 20th of October, when everything feels heavy and uncertain, remind yourself that nothing permanent is ever destroyed. Only the weak parts fall away. The strong parts, the real parts, the ones built on truth, they survive. Pain only removes what is false. When you lose something, when someone leaves, when a door closes, it's not rejection, it's redirection. The storm is not chaos, it's cleansing. It's making room for the next stage of your life. Strength is never built in sunshine, it's built in thunder, in silence. In days like 20th October, when everything seems to go wrong, when you are forced to fight through your doubts, when you are left with only your will to keep moving, that's where the strength you truly need is born. It doesn't come from comfort. It comes from endurance. The storm does not make you weak. It shows you how strong you already are. 20th October will test your ability to stay still in motion. The winds may try to move you, but you must stay rooted. When things fall apart, breathe. When people misunderstand you, stay silent. When everything hurts, stay present. This is how storms are defeated, not by running, not by shouting, but by standing. Every second you hold your ground, the storm loses power. And when it finally passes, you will realize that you were never fragile. You were never the broken. You were simply learning to hold yourself. When the storm ends, everything becomes clearer. The air feels fresher. The ground feels cleaner. The same will happen after 20th October. The damage you feared will turn into wisdom. The pain that once blinded you will become your vision. You will look back and realize that nothing was truly lost, only illusions, only attachments. What remained was the truth of who you are, calm, aware, and strong enough to face anything that comes next. The power of 20th of October lies not in what it destroys, but in what it leaves behind. The strength that remains after chaos is pure. It's silent, but unbreakable. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself anymore. It simply exists, and you are not demanded. You won't need to tell anyone how much you've grown. They will see it in your eyes, in your calm, in the way you carry yourself through challenges. The storm gave you that. Every hardship you face will one day turn into a lesson you teach. Every pain you endure will one day turn into peace you share. But for that to happen, you must go through the storm without fear. On 20th of October, don't resist what life brings. Let it come. Let it test you. Let it burn away the parts of you that are no longer needed. The more you resist, the longer the storm stays. But the moment you accept it, the healing begins. You must learn to see strength differently. Strength is not loud. It's not about showing power or dominance. True strength is the quiet decision to keep going when everything inside you wants to stop. It's the calm that remains even when everything outside is chaos. That's what 20 October will give you. Quiet strength. not the kind that shouts, but the kind that endures. When the storm of 24 October finally passes, you will stand in the stillness of your own growth. You will feel a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. You will carry a deeper confidence, not built on pride, but on survival. You will realize that the storm never came to break you. It came to awaken you. It came to make you see that no external force can truly destroy someone who knows their own power. And so, when you step out of 20th October, you will not be the same. You will be calmer in your strength, sharper in your awareness, softer in your energy. The storm will have passed, but its lessons will remain within you forever. You will walk lighter because you have faced the weight of your own fears and survived. The strength you gained will not be temporary. It will be the foundation for everything that comes next. Because when you have faced the worst and remained standing, nothing that comes after can ever truly shake you again.